And today we're going to be checking out this indoor kerosene heater. That's right, you can use this indoors, you can use it in tents, you can use it in your ice fish house if you have one of those little sheds you slide around. It holds 1.5 gallons of kerosene and can run up to 24 hours. How cool is that? It's got all the safety features including tip over sensor, and it comes with accessories and some extra stuff as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the camera in to get a closer look at the heater. I'm going to show you what all comes with it, and then we're actually going to light it up so you can see how to do that as well. And I'm also going to show you how to change the wick. All right, so here's the heater up close. You will get this little fuel pump. You slide this into your fuel, and you just squeeze this bulb and it will pump the fuel into your heater. You will of course get your instruction manual. It will give you a funnel that you can put into in case you're pouring it directly in. And you're going to get a total of 3 wicks. One is already installed. All right, so if you look at it, you can see that it does have a cool handle on top. It's got this little spring thing on here. Basically, it's an insulator. In case the handle heats up, you can still move it. You have a metal top because some people will put a pot of water on top to help keep humidity in the air as the heater is on. And it is 360 degrees of heating, so it will heat in all directions. You have a built-in gauge right here so you know how much fuel you have. You have your temp over sensor, so if you have your wick up and it starts to fall over, this weight will lean and it drops your wick, extinguishing your fire. You have a metal fuel cap right here. Here is your little, see if I can get you closer. This is how you lift up to light your actual wick. And then this is your manual shut off right here. All right, so to access the inside, what you have to do is you pull this handle out on both sides, and that allows you to lift the top off. Excuse all the noise. And the inside is where you have your glass globe and your fire screen or your fire mesh. I don't know the exact proper name for it, but there it is. Now if you do have to change your actual wick that's on the inside, you have 3 of these screws all the way around, and you pull these out. Once you get those out, you can lift off your safety cage, and this is where the actual wick is housed inside here. And you can see you have 3 screws on top right here. So we'll take these 3 butterfly nuts off. Now this heater is going to be great for like emergency backup heat. Say if you live up north and you get those brownouts and blackouts in wintertime and you have no way of heating your home, this will be a great way to keep at least one room in your house nice and toasty in those emergency situations. Just make sure that you burn the proper fuel for it, because some fuels burn dirtier than others, so you want the clean kerosene. And then once you take those 3 out, this whole thing lifts off like this, and this is where your actual wick is. And if you look inside, you can see your wicks there, and you can pull your wick out just like that and swap in a new one. All right, and the way that you install your wick, you see you have a black line here, and you're going to put that black line on this bottom lip right here, so you know how far in there to insert your wick. And then it's got little teeth on the inside that will grip to that wick, holding it in place. And then the way I found that's best to put this back in there, you have a rubber grommet on here, and that's going to make it difficult to slide your wick down in there. So I pull it off, and I will just put it over this, just like so, and then line the holes in the grommet up with the holes in your disc. Drop it over the top, just like that, and over your screws. Now all we have to do is put our butterfly nuts back on. And then what I like to do is actually rotate it just to make sure that the wick is going to rise up. And you can see the wick is here, and I'm going to test the tip sensor real quick. So if this does get kicked or starts to fall over, you saw how that tripped and this wick is going back down, and that's how it puts the flame back out. So very cool indeed. So to finish putting this back together, if you wanted to at this point, you could drop this back on just like that. And if you couldn't see this clear enough earlier, this is what you lift up when everything's together to access the wick without touching any of this hot stuff to be able to light it. And then you drop this right back on top. Put your 3 screws back in. And then once those are in, you just line these tabs up with your handles, pull your handles out. Just rotate it until the handles go back through the lid. Now the lid is secure and you are fully back together and ready to heat again. So I think what we need to do now is we're going to go ahead and put some fuel in here, and then we're going to light it up and see how much heat we get. All right, so I just have a gallon of fuel right here. Fuel is sold separately, and we're going to just open up the little fuel cap right here. Now, since this is a smaller container, I'm not going to use the pump. I'll just take this funnel, insert the funnel, pour in your fuel. And then once you put your fuel in, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to let this heater sit. If it's the first use, you want to let it sit for 10 to 20 minutes for that wick to fully get wet and soak up that fuel before you try to light it. All right, so we moved over here to the shade. We're going to go ahead and light this up. It's probably been about 10 minutes, maybe a little less, but I'm ready to see what happens. So when you go to light it, you have this little spring right here, and it is coiled so it stays cool. And you lift it up. Well, first you got to crank your wick up. And this is also how you control your heat. And then when you come in with a lighter, there we go. And you can see how it lit up right away. Now that is on full heat. But check it out, look inside. I'm gonna let this go ahead and heat up for a couple minutes, and then we're gonna come back and talk a little bit more about it and wrap this review up. All right, and there it goes. You can see it's starting to glow on the inside. This thing is heating up really fast. Now, I'm no expert, but I would personally recommend that the first time that you burn this, that you do it outside. So if there's any coatings or contamination on any of the parts that get hot, that will fume outside and not in your house. But after that initial startup and let it run for 5 or 10 minutes, then I would bring it indoors, no problem. You can see that screen just keeps getting hotter and hotter. It's putting off quite a lot of heat. And overall, I must say this is a very cool heater to have. If I was ice fishing up north, if I was camping and I had a larger tent and a cold climate, if I live somewhere where it got cold and power might be an issue, this is a must-have to keep you warm. You can see how fast that screen is starting to glow. It's really heating up. It's super easy to use, super simple to set up, almost no maintenance, and overall, a really nice indoor kerosene emergency heater. I hope this video helps, and thanks for watching.